Yo, what up? It's JSF. How y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing well. So I want to talk about Mortal Kombat, but I want to talk about Street Fighter, and I want to talk about how they relate to each other and why, if you're a Mortal Kombat player or just an NRS game player in general, you should be interested, excited, and hyped for Street Fighter 6. Now, I know what I'm showing and what I'm kind of going to talk about is Street Fighter 5, but trust me, we going to get to that. There's a few reasons, let's say around 3 good reasons why you should be excited for Street Fighter 6 if you play NRS games or you play Mortal Kombat. I know there probably won't be a block button, but aside from that, I think a lot of what the MK fans and MK fan base and the NRS fans are looking for is coming from Capcom. Trust me on this. And the first reason I really think this is because if you haven't been paying attention, you may not know, but Capcom has been trying to get more like, they've been watching NRS for years, bruh. When Street Fighter 5 first launched in 2016, they were like, yeah, we see what NRS is doing with their single player content, and it's really good. Like, they said way back then they were watching, right? And if you aren't familiar, Street Fighter 5 eventually got a story mode expansion added post-launch, and it was similar to kind of how an NRS story mode works, where there's cinematic sequences, there's matches, and you play as different characters. It was slightly different because it's a different company, but it had a lot of similarities, right? And they wanted to add that. They have their, I forget what the mode is called, where you can fight like boss versions of characters, where you can fight like the Master Ryu, you can fight Shadow Lady and stuff like that in Street Fighter 5, which is really cool. But you got to remember, that's in MKX too, right? They've been looking at NRS and NRS games for a long time. It's like something that they've been thinking about for a while because Capcom hasn't been doing great with single player content, especially with Street Fighter 5, right? It launched without an arcade mode and people were like, what? So that's reason one you should just know if you aren't hip. If you aren't familiar, you should know that, oh, Capcom has been looking at NRS, been kind of trying to make their games a little more similar. But reason two is the update that's coming. So Capcom just announced a battle update coming in March 2022, obviously, which is now, but it's coming March 29th of this month, this year, and they look like they buffed everybody, bruh. It looks like everybody got changes, everybody got buffs, a lot of changes that people have wanted for a while, they added. But more importantly, if you look at a lot of these changes that they're showing, they made the game more juggle heavy. They added more combo potential, which is something that everybody complained about for MK11, right? Characters have new combo routes, more juggle potential, and just can do cooler shit. It's what people loved about MKX but hated about MK11. It's like they took away the freedom to just be able to do cool ass combos, right? They like added a combo where it looks like Guile doesn't even need to charge to do flash kick. Like, what the hell is that, right? And it's for a lot of characters. They just added new stuff to it. It's a big balance update. And then they added some stuff just for flair, just to make it look nice, right? Just aesthetic things as well. But my point in saying this is they are gameplay wise and focus wise in the sense of single player content. They're headed in the direction that NRS games are going. And the new changes that they've added to Street Fighter 5 in the sense of gameplay are very, very, very reminiscent of, and this is for Street Fighter 5, right? They've added these changes for Street Fighter 5 that are coming in the patch, but they're very reminiscent of Street Fighter 4 Omega Mode. And a lot of people have mentioned this, but the thing that people don't mention is a lot of the stuff that was in Street Fighter 4 Omega Mode ended up being in Street Fighter 5 just regular, right? Like Ryu having his V-skill parry and the other V-skill where he parries and hits you or whatever it is, that was in Omega Mode. Like stuff that they've, like Omega Mode was kind of beta testing things for Street Fighter 6, right? So if you look at the changes that they're adding in this patch, it's like more combo potential, easier hit confirms, stuff that's kind of like how NRS games work, right? And with Street Fighter 4, they did a lot of the same thing. Even new moves and stuff like that, they kind of like let the community beta test it, right? So with Street Fighter 5, it looks like they're going the same route. Like, okay, cool. Let's throw all this crazy shit in the game, see how it works, and if it works well and people like it, we'll add it to the next game, which would be Street Fighter 6. And the other thing they've been doing with Street Fighter 6 is the newer characters that they've been adding to Street Fighter 5 have been characters that play a little different than traditional Street Fighter 5, right? Like Luke's playstyle is slightly different. He's still a Shoto. So he's still Ryu, but he still plays different. Like his jab is different. His target combos are different. He's a lot easier to play while still feeling that same way. So I'm like, through gameplay and what they're doing, they're moving in a direction with Street Fighter 5 and 6 that's very familiar if you're an NRS player. I say this because I'm an NRS player, right? I played MK9, Justice 1, 2, MKX, MK11. So I know because I played these games, right? So I think you should, like a lot of us who play these games, should really pay attention. And the final reason is a no-brainer. There is no NRS game, right? We don't have a release date for MK12. We don't even have an official hard public confirmation that it's coming out. We know MK12 is coming because they've hinted at it, they've leaked it, all kind of shit, right? But we don't have a hard confirmation, which means it's not coming until early next year at the earliest. The absolute earliest is probably first quarter next year, probably around April-ish. Like we might see a reveal at E3, but at the earliest, right? And we just don't know until then, right? So those are a few reasons I think you should be really excited and hyped for Street Fighter 6. They're adding other cool shit, like just adding the music and whatnot, which is really cool. But the gameplay focus and just the focus of Capcom's fighting game division is really, really interesting. I think if you just play NRS games, I think you'll get something out of this. But, I mean, let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think I'm just saying it's to hype Street Fighter? I mean, Street Fighter 5 is okay. It's definitely got its issues as a game, but it's definitely not hard to pick up, and they're gonna make it more. I mean, they've made it more accessible than other Street Fighter games, and they've added more cool shit to just do. If you want to just do crazy combos, do cool shit, blah, 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 they're adding that in the game now, like some things people have wanted for a while. So check it out, man. I'm not saying buy Street Fighter. I mean, it was free for a while. I'm just saying, like, if you're looking for a new game to play and you're an MK player, a Justice player, an RS player, Street Fighter 6 is probably the game, and the new Street Fighter 5 update that's coming out in a couple weeks is probably the first game you should try to get ready for Street Fighter 6. But anyway, let me know what y'all think. If y'all agree, if y'all disagree, if you think y'all should be playing KOF, if you think Strive, Skullgirls, let me know. Leave a comment. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. JSF, I'm outie. Peace.